Well, hello there and welcome everybody. Great to have you all back joining us for another MLM Mastermind training. My name is Craig Peliquin.
And I'm Dennis Wilson.
And today, our discussion is going to be, it's going to be more of a discussion between Dennis and I. We've been getting phone calls from distributors, and I know you have, and asking us questions. A lot of follow-up from our previous MLM Masterminds, and we've been getting emails, and there seems to be a theme, Dennis, to the questions that are coming back, why people are not succeeding.
Yeah.
Because we kind of dig down a little bit deeper. We don't, ask the fluffy questions that everybody's happy with. When we dig down and we want to find out what isn't working for people. And we're talking with distributors from different companies and owners and the companies. And I mean, you have actually helped launch over 550 MLM companies over the past 20 years. So you build a lot of compensation plans and work with a lot of people, but there still seems to be a recurring theme.
Yes.
What seems to always be the missing, Dennis?
The missing is the system. And, my clients will go to great lengths to hire web designers and make the most beautiful website that's just totally and perfectly useless because it's not a system. It's a website. You go to a website, you have 25 links to choose from, and you send your prospect to a website like that without a roadmap of what you need them to look at, you're in trouble, right? So a system in MLM, the system sort of comes down to sort of being like, first base, second base, third base. And it's okay to hit a single. It's okay to hit a double. It's okay to hit a triple, and it's okay to hit a home run. Yep. So if we look at those bases, what are they? Well, first base is sort of getting somebody some information in their hands, whether that be enough information to generate interest to go to a presentation, or maybe it's to go right to the presentation.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe it's something online to warm them up. Maybe it's directly to the presentation. And then, of course, from there, you have to follow up on that information, which if it's information to get them a presentation, you're just trying to get them to the presentation. Then you'll follow up after the presentation. If it's a second base hit right directly to the presentation, well, then you'll follow up on the presentation and how well it went, right? Third base might be getting them all the way to actually signing up because of something they'd already seen or whatever. They just were ready to go and you're their friend, so they're ready to go. So, there has to be a system. And what happens very often with my clients, with even the biggest of MLMs out there, is they lose touch of how to keep things simple for somebody to expose somebody to the business.
Right.
So, so if we break that down now and we say, okay, well, what is a system? Well, I think probably the first thing I want to cover is how important it is to make sure that when you are giving them to a presentation or to a website, that website or presentation is balanced. So
what do you mean by balance?
Yeah.
Balance. So that's so important to talk about, because if you lead and you only talk about the products in your company,
you're in trouble.
Well, that is a slow death. That is a slow, painful death.
It's what everybody who gave up starts to do.
But if you only lead with the business, and then it's all about the money game and all that, and the money.
Right.
It needs to be balanced.
Yeah. So, and the thinking behind that is, if you have a product that I don't really relate to, and actually this is exactly my story, right? When I made $1 million in a year in MLM, the product was something that I wasn't that interested in. I mean, online casino and gaming and stuff. It wasn't my thing, but I knew that a lot of people would be interested in it. But because I was interested in MLM, I still joined that company because I believed in MLM and I believed in the people and I believed in all of that. I wasn't so hot on the product. Right. Flip side is if you're really hot on the product only, MLM might not scare someone away. So when you present product and business in equal amounts, somebody who loves your product but not so good about MLM still has a chance of joining you. Or someone who loves MLM but not so hot on your product still has a chance of joining you.
Use the example of your very first MLM, the one where we met.
Yeah.
I mean, you were approached by somebody. We had a gas and engine treatment.
Engine
additive, which you really didn't care about because you didn't even know how to open the hood of your car.
Yeah.
And your mechanic approached you, completely product focused.
Yes, product focused.
And you just basically said, if you're my mechanic, you say I need my car, put in my car. Yeah. Never talked to you about the business end of it once at all. Nope. And that probably cost you a good $100,000.
easy. Because the timing would have been that, you know what, that could have saved the company. That could have saved the company.
Yeah.
Because I would have been in early enough to have a big enough team to not be swayed to the other place and not to break up the company. So that actually could have saved the company. Mike, if you're watching, man.
but you never about then you had somebody approached you about the business, and you didn't even know what multi-level marketing was.
Well, and she didn't tell me what the product was at all.
Right.
So I ended up at the presentation to go, I've seen this product before. Why didn't Mike tell me this business was attached to this? Coolest thing I've ever seen. So then, of course, after the presentation, she asked me what I thought. And I said, I'm not interested. And I ran out of the room like any normal person would, right?
But inside, you were doing backflips.
Oh, man, I was freaking out. I'm like, oh, my God, I signed that paper on the way in. Does that mean I'm connected to her? Because, like, I'd really rather make Mike money than her. I don't really know her. And, oh, my brain just completely exploded.
But had you been approached properly the first time, no explosion. Now it worked out. I mean, you ended up joining, and you became very successful. And I mean, you launched your career.
That's right.
In network marketing.
Yep.
And it's a lot of things. At times we do that. We prejudge people. And, and Mike was a product guy. He was a mechanic. He had an oil additive. Made sense.
And the problem is the damn oil additive worked, and he ended up going out of business in his mechanic shop because his customers didn't come back because the car stopped breaking down.
There you go.
Oops.
So a balanced approach is really, really important.
Yeah. So let's talk about the balanced approach. So, it gets confusing because if you're trying to show people a system that involves a website, then you need to be careful that you're showing sort of equal balance of product and business, which means if you first take them to a product page or you first take them to a business page, then you've got a bit of a problem because you don't know if it's a balanced approach. Yeah. So on a website, I mean, it would really be ideal if business and product were sort of presented together or side by side so that the people are getting exposed to both sides of it in a good system. So if your company doesn't have a system, but they have a website, then my recommendation would be create a system from their website.
Yeah.
Okay. So start with taking them to the products page and then try taking some of them to the business page first.
Yeah.